My name's Sam Leamy. Welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. I'm here with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh. What's going on, boys?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, Mike? How's New York City?
Oh, New York IA? It's got a little while.
Dick. You're a dick. You're the biggest dick. No, I'm not starting again. I'm in control of this shit.
Start again.
No, I'm not starting again. Anyway. 2018 World Cup. All the teams have been put in place. Do you want me to run down them real quickly? Who can read really fast? Who's the fastest reader?
I'm a fast reader.
All right, go. Starting with the top.
Russia, Iran, South Korea, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Tunisia, Nigeria, Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, France, Portugal, Germany, Serbia, Poland, England, Spain, Belgium, Iceland, Switzerland, Croatia, Sweden, Denmark.
Done. Good stuff.
Wow.
See ya in the summer.
That might have been the most impressive thing I've seen on the podcast.
Apart from
so far.
Uruguay, that was probably the biggest unimpressive thing. Anyway, Peru clinched their place.
Wait, how do you say Uruguay?
Uruguay, yeah. Uruguay?
Okay.
How do you say don't care in Uruguayan?
Fuck you. Peru were the last team to clinch their place in the 2018 World Cup last night. 2-0 winners at home to New Zealand. Unfortunately for New Zealand, they will not make the World Cup they did in 2014. But with automatic qualification in the next World Cup with the expanded format, looks like they will have no problem qualifying. But some big names are missing out. USA, obviously, of course, missing out next summer. Also, Italy going out to Sweden in a two-legged playoff. Your beloved Republic of Ireland, Michael McLaughlin, going down to Christian Eriksen and Denmark. Absolute Eriksen masterclass in the...
We watched that game, and we watched that game at the bar. I came up and watched it with you guys.
It was nice. It was good to see you, buddy.
But you were watching...
No, and I had a real issue with that Irish kid.
Why? What's your issue?
There was serious beef at the bar. Yeah.
God.
What's your issue
sucked.
with Irish and fans? And
No, I mean, I root for Ireland.
what's your... I mean, obviously, first and foremost, you guys are USA fans, but there are a lot of immigrants, second, third generation people that are here, and they are connected to other countries like Italy, Ireland especially. A lot of immigrants come from those countries. When you see... nationally born USA fans rooting for these other nations, especially when the World Cup's going on, but also when they've known USA have not qualified for next summer. How do you are you curious to why they support these other countries, or you just let it be? I mean, it's such a new thing.
I get it. I just think at a certain point, I don't like the whole, oh, my great-grandpa lived in Ireland, so I love everything Irish. It's like, dude, relax. You're like an American. I mean, my roommate in college, his dad was actually from Ireland off the boat, and he loved Ireland.
Straight off the boat in 1984.
Yeah. And he supported USA.
Came here on a boat.
Yeah. No, but he as a son of an Irish immigrant, he supported USA 100%, and then also liked Ireland. So if someone like that, you're not going to find many people as close to Ireland or any country like that. I feel like everyone's more second or third generation, Irish, Italian, German, whatever. I don't know. If he can be a fan of the U.S. and supports U.S. 100%, you got to chill out, dude. We get it.
Do you think, Mike, it's a natural feeling that they have within their blood, or do you think it's a trendy thing that these younger fans hold on to on these other nations?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not trendy because I kind of root for Ireland, too. I mean, they look like you. You know what I mean? That's a big thing. That guy looks like he's in my fan. It's just they all have white, red faces and running around. I just don't get the whole getting into it over the top. I always had friends that got way into being Irish and all this, drinking and start singing songs. Dude, you don't even know what you're saying. What are you doing? Talk about, what was the thing? Guys used to talk about, the Troubles in Ireland, in the 80s. And act like they were a part of I'd send guns. I'm gonna send guns there, man. I was like, no, dude, what? We go to Hackett Middle School. Shut up. I'm not sending guns to some fucking hills in Ireland for some fight. I don't even know what the hell's going on.
But yeah,
I root for Ireland, dude. I do, but I would root for them a lot more if they had a star. If they were fun to watch.
They do. They have,
they're just kind of
Robbie Brady.
Their whole team is above average championship players and average Premier League players. There's only you can only get the Irish culture. you support that more than the actual team, like because you want Irish people to be happy and drunk. Like that is cool.
Like if they had a Pulisic, I would watch.
Knew that was
like
coming.
Old Pulisic.
But out of the 32 countries that have made it, obviously big countries like Italy, Ireland haven't made it. Netherlands also haven't made it for next summer's. Who's the biggest nation that's going to be missed next summer, guys?
I think on the global scale, Italy, because I think 1958 was the last World Cup they missed, and even though their teams, especially the last decade or so, seem like they're semi-average or a little bit above average, they have performed well in both the Euros and the World Cup, and I think that just the Italian support is so great that they will be missed. I'm not going to miss them, but
well, I think that they look good. The blue uniform, like World Cup, it just looks like it belongs. But I think USA is the biggest affects the World Cup the most, not being there.
But I mean, historically, yeah,
financially.
Financially, yes, the USA the biggest loss, but historically, Italy they were a staple every World Cup. There's a huge following of Italians, especially in the United States, and they always seem to do well, even with should we say above average side. I mean, they always have had those world class players in Pirlo.
Honestly, though,
Totti.
they're a boring team. They're always kind of a boring. Like they pack it in a little bit and then they hold possession. I don't know. Is that what they do?
Yeah,
just never been really into.
That's what they do, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much they've started defensively. I mean, boring on the eye, you could argue that, but successfully in these major tournaments. As recent as 2000 and what was it? The tournament 2016. They made the final of the. Not 2016, 2012, they made the final of the Euros. But with more world-class players than they do have now. I did see that no Italian TV network did pick up the World Cup, so the World Cup's not being shown in Italy as we speak today. But
That's
eventually,
not
gonna
last.
But for Fox Sports in America, with the USA going out and now Italy and Ireland not making it, I mean, what a huge dent it is to their network and all the money they've put in.
Especially like in America, you feel like obviously Americans are the most patriotic, and then Irish and Italian Americans are like the most patriotic when it comes to supporting their auxiliary country or whatever. So that's definitely a big loss for Fox. Big loss for the bar and a big loss for my pockets as well. So thank you. My summer's looking a little bleak now.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember what I wanted to talk about before. Fox is apparently what they bribed people to even get the World Cup. Is that what they're saying? Is that what I read? 2000.
Hot take.
Okay,
hot take.
Yeah, hot take. I don't know what I'm talking about. I saw an article, but I think it had to do with like a 2008. I don't know. Next podcast on that one. My apologies.
So, I mean, you guys are still going to watch the World Cup, right? I mean, there's still plenty of big boys in there. Brazil, Germany, two of the favorites. I think France, one of the joint favorites as well.
There's not many games of the World Cup, regardless of what countries, that aren't worth watching, just because it does mean so much that it can be, South Korea versus Russia, and obviously both teams do have good players in top leagues, but it's still exciting to tune in. Although I'm pretty sure that was the worst game of the World Cup in 2014. If I remember correctly, it was pretty brutal. But regardless,
like the World Cup,
you have to watch. You have to watch every game,
dude. It's so much fun. It is, like, especially in America. Like, I don't know what the times of these games. What are we looking at for Russia? It's early morning to midday. Is that right?
6 o'clock's the first game, I think.
AM.
6 a.m. Then 8 a.m. 10 and noon.
It's perfect.
I mean, I love the morning or the middle. It would be better if it was maybe like afternoon, but I love that whole. Sorry, bless you. I love the whole the energy and the atmosphere of watching game to game to game. It's always fun, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a game on, and I'm sure people are going to watch it. Looking at England, top of Group F, they have qualified. How do you see their chances next summer with a young squad they've played in the last two games against Germany and Brazil, 2 0-0 games?
Of course.
A lot of inexperience getting thrown in, but I feel like that's the future for next summer.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Wait, the World Cup draw happened?
No. These were two friendlies. It was international break. We'll get on to the USA
scared
game.
me. The World Cup draws in December, right?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
all right.
December usually.
You just said Group F. I'm like, they already have the groups. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they're already qualified. They're in the knockouts. But 2 0-0 draws, lackluster draws in the past week. against Germany and Brazil with a younger squad. Gareth Southgate experimenting with a lot of players that don't play for their senior team in the Premier League, which he has a tough time, as a national coach of the England team. But how do you see their chances in next summer? Is this going to be the same old England, or are we going to see a more exciting, vibrant England national team at next summer's World Cup?
I think it'll be somewhere in between both, but it'll tend to lean towards more of the same old England as we saw in this current international breaks, 2-0 draws. I think Kane is great. Dele Alli is great.
And that's about it.
Eric Dyer's pretty. They have a good core, but it's still the same old England. And even with how good Harry Kane is in the Premier League, when you put on the England shirt, as we've talked about time and time again on this podcast, it goes flat. So we'll see. I wish him the best of luck. I always enjoy watching England in the World Cup, but I don't know. I wouldn't get too excited if I was a English supporter.
All right, Mike, favorites for next summer. Who do you think's going to win it all?
I want Argentina to win it, but I think France is going to win it. France is just so stacked.
All right.
That's probably, and I like England, dude. I like England, and if they bring up some of those U20 players, that'd be really cool. So.
Yeah, Dominic Solanke made his debut. Only played a handful of minutes for Liverpool this season, but he made his debut against England. It looks like
against Brazil,
yeah,
or Germany,
Brazil second game. Yeah. And Loftus-Cheek as well.
So did Tommy Abraham, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
He's been responsible for 71% of Swansea's goals this year. Fun little fact for you. But also back on the national stage, the United States of America are playing away to Portugal with pretty much a brand new team, should we say, from the back all the way to up front. Young team. They got a draw against Portugal, also experimenting from all the way back. You guys watched that more intensively than the Ireland game. What did you guys see? What can USA take away from this game? Actually, we'll talk about Bruce Arena's appearance on TV first. What did you make of that?
I thought it was distasteful and just like a classic Fox move. Just because they wanted
Arena. Why'd he agree to it though? Like, why would he just be like, "Yeah, I'm going to go on and kind of be like." And he had a couple, these phone experts. Like, dude, just stop, just go away.
Yeah, I thought it was like the first possible time that like Arena could be like the first U.S. soccer appearance we've had since the Trinidad game. Like, why is Bruce Arena there? It's just Fox at their best. And someone tweeted Alexi Lawless, like, dude, what is going on here, man? Like, why is this even happening? And he was like, it's about good television, and it was good television. And I'm like, was it? Like, really that good at television? I get it. Like, people might tune in for the 10-minute pregame show and 15 minutes at halftime to hear Bruce Arena. Like, maybe.
Yeah, like Arena, they could have done like a halftime interview or something like that. That would have been interesting. And Alalis maybe like grill him a little bit, and that would have been kind of fun. But to pretend
throw some hands,
Yeah, I'm just pretend like it's all good. Like, Bruce is here. It just seemed awkward and weird. I don't know if that was good television.
But he was there, and a lot of young Americans were there in Lisbon. Your take on the game, Connor? They're playing out that 1-1 draw.
It was exciting. It was just exciting to see the new era underway at the first possible opportunity. I was pretty happy with the team selection. I think that, I guess just starting in the back, I thought Ethan Horvath looked terrified, like visibly terrified, and goalkeeper, and that may have played a role in his pretty brutal mistake that definitely didn't help him. He was pulled at halftime for Bill Hamid.
He was probably always going to be pulled at halftime anyway. Just
regardless, yeah, he probably was. So that's not necessarily a knock against him. But he did have some really good moments. Second half of the second part of the first half, I thought that Horvath was nice.
And who does he play for people who don't know?
Club Bruges in Belgium.
Okay,
sir.
I believe he just got demoted, where he was the starter for the most of last year, and then all this year, and then the last few games, something's happened, shaking his confidence.
Still young though, right?
Yes, he's like 21.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, new coach in charge temporarily until they find a new one. I know Sam Allardyce is rumored amongst others, but how did you rate the coaching side from that game? Although, like you said, it was a mistake for the equalising goal for Portugal.
Well, I thought for Saracen, is that how you pronounce it? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, Saracen.
Saracen.
Is that what we're going with?
I think that, he's irrelevant. He's only going to be there for like 6 months tops.
Yeah, but what if he kills it? What if they love him? You know, I mean, what?
He's not big enough. It's just not. It's just like an interim. You know what I mean? Like I maybe he does kill it, but killing it is drawing against Lisbon or against Portugal, and then we play Bosnia in January. Like what it does, you really can't kill it. Like, So I think that he just like gave the people what they wanted, and I really couldn't have been happier with the team selection. I know we wanted to see Sargent in the second half, but I think him being there in the full national team camp after playing in 2 youth tournaments this year, that says enough.
Perfect.
Like him being there, it's just as good as him playing. Like it's all you really need is the fact that he's in the picture, and that the manager is now recognizing the younger talent that was. I mean, Josh Sargent was never going to be in the roster against Panama in Trinidad. Like we get that.
Yeah, no.
But still,
But
like he's
at this
recognizing
point,
the younger.
Point, watching that game and watching Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams play, Weston McKennie not being called up, I say all the way back on Honduras at the end of the Bundesliga season when you know he's being brought in.
Yeah,
to
but he wasn't
team.
playing regularly towards the end of the season.
The last 3 to 4 games he played, though, he played for Schalke last 3 or 4 games last year, and I remember we said it on this podcast. I'm like, dude, but I said on this podcast, how could you be playing at that level and not even be brought in?
Because why would you risk? Really? Why would you risk someone like that at home to Panama and then away to?
No, to be clear, they should have brought him in against Honduras. Sorry, back in
after the Costa Rica game, that 1-1 game.
No, way back. I'm talking back in May and June. During that, right at the end of the season. They could have brought him in right then and got him in the fold. That's what I thought.
One thing to be clear, though, McKennie was hurt playing for Schalke during the Panama and Trinidad games back in, was it October at this point? Yeah, October.
Yeah. Okay.
He was hurt, so he was never just, obviously he's not going to get called in if he's hurt, so you can't slander Arena for that. I mean, you can because it's fun, but
I mean, yeah.
But I think what's exciting as well is watching these young players come in who are playing in Europe, especially Weston McKennie. He looked great. I mean, he hit the post, he scored. He was very influential in
Actually, it's Carter Vickers that hit the post, but whatever. That was it. It did look like he did it. Yeah.
But he looked like someone who'd been there before.
Technically speaking, Sam, it was an illusion, and Cameron Carter Vickers is the one that hit them.
Isn't this just like so exciting for the future of USA, and with the likes of Pulisic coming in, maybe a couple of the older heads coming in, that mixture? Do you think the blend's going to be successful in the next 6 to 12 months? I mean, we rewind 12 months how excited we were for Bruce Arena to come in and call up all these guys for Camp Cupcake, and we go back and listen to that podcast. I think it was episode 3 or 4, right?
Yeah,
it was way back. Is this something different, or is this kind of like the same thing that's the same rotation for the US like the previous 6 to 10 years?
No, it's.
I think you go, Connor. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's definitely different. It has to be different. And
but doesn't this have the same feel to it as when United States went back to back against Germany and Netherlands a couple of years ago and won that?
If you watch those 2 games, those might have been the best. I know they were friendlies, but those were. I mean, that's how Bobby Wood got his contract with Hamburg. And you look at it, it does seem like with this one here, it's a little more wipe the slate clean. A lot of guys are going to have opportunities. And you look at how McKennie and Adams and Danny Williams looked. Danny Williams is older. But we just looked way more boss in the midfield to win tackles. We weren't trying to float beautiful balls or anything. We were just going hard. And, I mean, you put Pulisic and maybe Bobby Wood up top or an Altidore too. I don't hate Altidore like everybody's supposed to hate him now. You put those guys up top, and I think you could be looking at. I mean, I don't know. It looks. I'm kind of excited, but I mean, there's nothing to get excited about.
Well, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's only one game, and there's no reason to get carried away at this stage.
One thing that again we were watching Sam was working. Me and Mike were just chilling at the bar on Tuesday afternoon, and so we didn't have the sound on because the Denmark sound was on, rightfully so. So I saw on Twitter that. We talked about pretty much every other position, but center backs were Matt Miazga and John Brooks. And Bruce Arena said at some point during the broadcast that had we gone to the World Cup, those were probably his top choices for center back. which was interesting because Miazga was at the Gold Cup, but not called up for the last. Or was he in the camp for? Regardless,
no, he wasn't. No, he was Gold Cup. He didn't. I don't think he made any of those camps for the qualifiers.
I thought they looked good. Very
great,
good. Yeah. And
Yedlin
looked
even
great.
Cameron Carter-Vickers, Yedlin looked awesome, and Cameron Carter Lehigh actually looked pretty decent.
He did.
But Cameron Carter-Vickers looked great too. And you got to think like Cameron Carter-Vickers, Matt Miazga, I think they're better than Omar Gonzalez.
Oh, definitely. 100% they're better than Omar. I mean, Omar had his moments of really good play, I think, for the U.S., but...
And I like Omar a lot, but it's like, damn, why wouldn't we play those guys? They weren't experienced. Like, I mean, it just seems...
Miazga kind of had a year or two rough in Europe because he was on Chelsea and then made a few appearances.
That's got to be another thing. That's going to be another thing, too. All these guys that have been kind of like held on the periphery or too young, the confidence they probably have now is through the roof. They got to be like, we're here. Like, what the, you know what I mean? There's a real sort of like you're done and it's our turn kind of confidence probably.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on CJ Sapong? Our number 9.
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was, he had a couple moments there where you see like he probably isn't up to the level. But I thought his touch, his hold up play, everything was, I have no idea what his finishing was like, but he looked really good. And he set up that goal for McKinney.
Yeah, he scored.
I thought he played great. Yeah.
16 and 33 for Philadelphia, so that's a pretty good return there. I liked it. I liked what I saw, and I was, again, he was like from the fringes. Journalists were saying, "Why not call Sapong?" And it never happened. Call him in, and he played great. Again, it was against a Portugal B team, but still, it was just.
He probably definitely earned a call up for the
Bosnia game in January.
Yeah,
so that was nice to see him play well.
Good stuff.
Plus, during that one, it's going to be all like MLS guys anyway, because Europe's going to be in full swing.
Yeah, but there'll be an international break, so.
I don't think the next one is an international break, actually. Right, Connor? It's a weird one. It's like a U.S. break only or something. I don't know. I don't know.
But it's good that a lot of the younger players are playing in Europe, and it touches on Pulisic's article that he wrote in this past week as well, and how he had the opportunity to play for Dortmund at the young age of 16. If you're a US citizen only, you can only play in Europe when you're 18. But players like a lot of the players in the U17 World Cup, Timothy Weah obviously has French passport. He's playing in PSG. He's available to go through those academies at a younger age. And Pulisic says in his article that it's so vital between the ages of 16 and 18 to get that experience at a top level club in Europe. What are your thoughts on what Christian Pulisic wrote weeks after the USA get knocked out of the World Cup? Either.
Connor. So we're talking about the Players Tribune article. It was really good. I liked what he had to say. It was honest. And
so if anyone hasn't read it, it's worth reading. I just read it just before we started recording. Christian Pulisic, Players Tribune. So look it up, Google it.
Yeah, he had a lot of good things to say. Sorry, we're kind of distracted. There was like a really big story just broke like 3 minutes ago. CONCACAF announces League of Nations starting in 2018. Promotion and relegation amongst countries, yo. That's gonna be kind of sick, kind of interesting. So you're gonna be broken into tiers based on your ranking. You play within your little league, and then promotion relegation with countries. It'll be kind of cool. So
it's like a way to have friendlies that is more competitive. But then how are we gonna play against Europe and South America?
Yeah, you wonder if this will take a precedence over.
Yeah, I think they're trying it out in CONCACAF, and then
Europe is doing it.
Europe's doing it. They have it set up. That's why CONCACAF did it, because they know even on these friendlies, like USA is not going to be able to go play Germany or anybody because they're going to be playing, real shit.
Dude, you're going to get titles. This is going to be cool. This is like a cool concept. It'll make international breaks, I guess, maybe a little bit more exciting. Details coming early 2018, so we will keep you posted on that. But yeah, back to the Pulisic thing, I guess we were kind of distracted just reading that article while we were trying to talk here. But I thought he's just like a very self-aware kid. Like he just knows.
Yeah, that's what I was more impressed by, the way he wrote the article and what he was saying. I guess you could say that there's somebody helped him write it. I don't know, but It was pretty interesting. I mean, other than the fact that he thinks like you can change international law and like have like kids play at like 16 without. He's lucky he has his grandfather's from Croatia, so he has the European passport.
You think
to go over there.
so Pulisic is supporting Croatia at the World Cup, right? He's going nuts for that.
I don't think he's going nuts.
Probably, yeah. His grandfather's Croatian, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably root. I mean, yeah. I mean, oh my God, but these fucking. Sorry about the cursing, but if you go on these YouTube clips, these Pulisic YouTube clips, every stupid Croatian is just like, should play for Croatia, you fucking traitor. They just like you should play with Croatia, real team. Sucks you're with the U.S. men's national team. Modric, Bergen, Pulisic, we'd have a squad. Fucking. Hey, shut up. Like. He was born here. He's got an American tattoo on himself. It's like he's been here for 2 generations. He's not Croatian, but you know what that tells me? He's dope. Because all these Croatians are mad that he's not playing.
Right.
I think he's right though, man. MLS needs to start playing these young kids on their actual teams, so they can't get out of America and play in Europe at 16. But why isn't Andrew Carlton playing 20 minutes a game for Atlanta?
I mean,
why isn't he?
There's just better younger players in Atlanta, like Julian Gressel, who won MLS Rookie of the Year out of Providence came from Providence last year. Like that.
How old is he's 20?
Gressel's like he's a German. He's a German that went to Providence, got drafted by Atlanta. He's like 19, 20, 21, and he was the Rookie of the Year and played great.
It's a rap, kid. I want my 16. No, I'm saying for real. I get what you're saying, but I don't know how you could. Maybe they could make like every roster has to have a under 18 American player on the actual game roster, something like that. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, but
that's
what if they're
crazy.
injured? You can't do that.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know.
But it definitely is an interesting article, and he's pumped up for next qualifying campaign. Just as much as you're pumped up, Mike, for 2022.
What are you guys, sick or something?
I'm stuffed up. Yeah,
you your whole nose. You look like a mess. You have a Unabomber hoodie on. You look like a fucking mess.
Brilliant. You guys take charge. Done. I'm done.
No, I know. Sam, we are just looking at you. Like, come on, keep this going.
All right.
What's our next topic?
Our next topic is we've been away for a couple of weeks. I was on vacation the last week, but we did attend MLS playoff game, New York City FC against Columbus. New York City had to overturn a 4-1 deficit. They were 2-0 up. Great game. We met up with you, Mike, down there. Our season tickets held their own. We got towards the supporter section. No chicken buckets, but a few beers, shots at stands. And as we went in, I thought it was a very entertaining game as well. I thought the weather wasn't great. It was drizzling. It was pretty cold, but the energy was in the stadium. The fans got behind the team. They managed to get the goal before halftime. They got a goal midway through the second half as well. And all they needed to do was push for one more. But unfortunately, Andrea Pirlo came on and started kicking the ball out of bounds. So, unfortunately for New York City, they are out. Columbus advanced to the conference finals against Toronto. A couple of other surprises. Houston getting a 2-2 draw against Portland, knocking them out. Seattle going through, beating Vancouver at home. Was it 2-0?
2-0, yep.
2-0. Clint Dempsey getting a brace. They look strong as well going into the final stages of the playoffs like they did last year as well. But going forward, great matchups. Houston against Seattle in the Western Conference Finals and Toronto v Columbus. So going on. I know there was
your predictions holding strong, Sam.
Yeah, you guys were laughing at me. Houston Columbus final.
That was one of I would have never, especially because Houston hasn't won a game on the road in a year and a half. For them to go into Seattle, and again they didn't win, but to get 2 away goals, very very impressive.
Can I also? That was very, very impressive. Can I track back a second about the NYCFC game?
Yes.
So I'd never been. We went to 2 games. That's my 3rd game, I think. But
We
both
went to the
times I got
playoffs
in there
last year.
Playoffs. And I went to one where I took my mother earlier this year, and that was fun. But this was the first time I ever went early and had the experience. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
And the bar stands was packed, and then
time.
there was probably 40 Columbus fans at the bar.
Yeah.
I went up and talked to a few of
Oh,
them.
me too. Yeah, he kind of went over all of them. He was like, "Save the crew." Like made friends with all of them. They all thought you were making fun of them for a while until they realized you were like
Genuine.
trying to be buddy.
I was a genuine.
Yeah, you were genuine. Yeah.
I'm just a fan of the league, man. You know, save the crew.
Well, that's why I want any listeners out there that like don't really give a crap that much about soccer or MLS. Like, it's fun, man. It's a good time. We went to the stands. That's the name of the place, right? And they had really good chicken wings, and then we had a couple beers and whatever, and then we went in, and it's in and out in 2.5 hours. The whole thing, or 3 if you count the pre-gaming or whatever. But it was so I just enjoy it. I think it's I don't know. I have a blast doing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like the bar's packed out and everyone's hyped for the game, and people. The crew fans to save the crew fan chant.
Yeah, it's a game that matters because you go to these games during the season. It's like, I mean, I know it does matter, but this is way more intense because there's no like pushing for the title. If you make the top 6, you're in with a chance of winning the whole thing anyway. So to go to a game, I wish it was a little bit closer after the first leg, but New York City definitely made it exciting by getting back into the game.
Yeah, it was good. It was one time.
Yeah, and thankfully Andrea Pirlo announced his retirement the next day, so our beloved club can move in the right direction from here on out.
But a few awards were given out in the past week. I know Clint Dempsey won Comeback Player of the Year.
Tim Melia today won Keeper of the Year, Sporting Kansas City. Ike Opara won Defender of the Year, also Sporting Kansas City. And then, like I mentioned earlier, Julian Gressel of Atlanta United won Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And wait, so Christian Ramirez was up for that too, right? Wasn't he up for?
But
was he rookie?
I mean, I guess no, he's not because he was playing in USL or NASL, whatever Minnesota was before. But that was one thing actually I forgot to mention in the US talk was he was probably a guy that should have been called into the camp because he was the highest scoring American in MLS this year. I think he had to finish with 18 goals. So why not? He's 24 years old. Like why not? That seems like a good call.
Give him a shot.
Maybe we'll see him going forward. I don't know if Minnesota's. Well, they ended up having a pretty decent year, honestly, all things considered. But maybe their overall lack of success, especially the beginning half of the year, if that prevented him from getting a more serious look. But he had a great year, and I would have liked to have seen him starting or coming off the bench on Tuesday afternoon against Portugal.
So what's the next MLS games?
So Tuesday night
doubleheader, starting off at 7:30. Columbus and Toronto. Columbus is sold out. No Josie Altidore. Actually, you were giving your little roundup of the last day, but probably the biggest talking point of Sunday was the fight between Toronto and the New York Red Bulls, and Tyler Adams was like a center figure in this. Like he was playing really chippy, and Bradley got in his face, and it's just a lot of chippy stuff happened in that first half. Like pretty decent little fight. Josie ended up making a fool of himself.
A little bit.
Went on Twitter and started talking a whole bunch of nonsense after the game. Went to the Toronto Raptors game.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then was talking crap. They interviewed him. He was sitting like courtside. They interviewed him, and he was being smug and stuff, which I guess is cool.
Yeah, what did he say? What did he say? He's like, I guess you don't bring it to that level unless you can't handle it at that level or whatever.
Yeah, he was like, if you come at
yeah, what did you say?
It's like if you come at the king, you best not miss. And Josie did like a really laughable flop in the middle of like the scrap in the middle of the field. Yeah. So like it was like, dude, you made yourself look like a fool. But
it seems like Kleiston went and actually
he's
hit
suspended
him
for the first leg.
That's what I was going to say before I started the Columbus Toronto little preview. But yeah, so Josie is suspended at halftime in the tunnel. Both Kleiston and Josie Altidore were red carded, so the second half was played with 10 men for both Red Bulls and Toronto. And I like to see this, and you know what I mean? Like you have two national team teammates like going at it. These guys have probably been friends or have known each other for a good while now. For this to be happening in an MLS playoff game, it's like there's no buddy at this point. Like,
dude,
these guys
they were on the U20 team together when they were like 17 and 18, I think.
Yeah, so it's like it's good to see that is happening in the league now, where guys really want to win.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, like all this weird, intense stuff, like where people are yelling at each other and criticizing each other, and we criticize Arena. In a weird way, it's better probably for the whole product in the end, right?
Because it just shows people care. Like people are emotionally invested to criticize and get riled up. Like it's good.
You boys just want to see fight. You just want to see violence. Anyway, it is everyone's favorite section. Even though
started.
we've done half of it. But here is the preview for week 30-something conference finals.
Yes,
Take
sir.
it away.
All right, so as we mentioned before, Columbus versus Toronto, Tuesday night, 7:30 on ESPN. If you're in the Albany area, the sound will be on at the bar. I don't care who's there. I don't care whose birthday it is. We're listening to MLS on Tuesday night. Yeah, it should be a good one. If Columbus can keep riding this wave. Toronto is coming off a loss against the Red Bulls, despite winning the first. They won the first game away. Obviously, they lost the second one at home, but the away goals were enough to get them through.
So it's in Columbus?
In Columbus, stadium is already sold out.
We should go.
I want to go, bro. That's what I've been saying, dog. Oh, come on, son. No, I do want to go. But second year in a row, Toronto has reached the Eastern Conference Final.
Is there any shot if... no, you do your thing, and then I'll see if there's any shot of Columbus playing at home in the final.
Okay, yeah. So Toronto will be without Altidore following that red card. That was appealed. Both the Red Bulls and Toronto appealed their red cards for their players, respectively. Yeah. Both were denied. Yeah, so it should be a exciting game, and without Josie Altidore, I mean, Toronto still has the attacking firepower to wiggle their way through that game, but I think that Columbus has impressed time and time again throughout these playoffs, and there's no reason. I mean, they're at home in front of a sold-out crowd. It's going to be an emotional night, even more so than the game against New York City FC, and we saw what they did on Halloween evening. So it should be a really, really good game. And then at 9:30, flip your TV over to FS1. Houston versus Seattle in Houston. Hopefully more than 3,000 people show up in Houston. There's a chance there'll be more traveling Seattle fans than Houston fans. But I don't know, man. Houston is like, who knows? That game against Portland, I don't think anyone expected that other than
saw that coming there.
Houston fan, and other than Sam Leamy, Houston fans, and then Houston, the club itself. I do expect Seattle to win if they get an away goal. I don't know if Houston can do it twice in similar environments on the Pacific Northwest. It's a lot of traveling over the course of two series. I don't think that they can get it done again away in Houston. But are your guys' predictions the same?
100%. I'm sticking with a Columbus Houston final. Who's at home? Who was seeded higher at those two? Is it Columbus?
Columbus was seeded higher than Houston.
So it could be a Columbus, at home for the championship. Definitely going to that. Definitely.
Sam's gonna be, dude. He'd be like the mascot for Save the Crew.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going with the same prediction. Who are you going for? You guys have to change your prediction.
No, I got to go with Seattle.
No, I lied.
Seattle,
Houston
Toronto.
was the higher seed. They finished.
So there's no way Columbus can play at home.
No way Columbus can play at home in the
regardless,
final.
this could be the final game in Columbus ever.
No, because they're playing there next year, 2019.
Done.
Okay. All right.
Boo.
Okay. Well, it's the last home game this year at Columbus.
Yes.
Okay, done.
Should be good.
So who are you going? I'm going Toronto, Seattle, Toronto winning. Same thing as last year.
I just thought Toronto looked pretty weak against the Red Bulls. Red Bulls could have gone through. They just needed another goal, and they scared Toronto.
Yeah, no, I think Red Bulls did their thing, and they were physical, aggressive. They got in Toronto's head. They disrupted them, and if it wasn't for the two away goals in the first leg, then Red Bulls probably could have gone through in that.
Yeah,
series.
and it's a team on form, playing well right now, at home especially, against a team who are kind of disrupted in their squad right now. So it definitely is going to be interesting, and I'm sad to see the MLS winding down.
Me too.
Right, Mike.
So,
Yeah.
But big North London derby in England this weekend. Yeah, you do care. You do fucking care. 7:30 a.m. NBC, Arsenal v Tottenham. Who's the ruler of North London? Arsene Wenger seems to think it's Arsenal.
well, he's a senile old man. It's obviously Tottenham Hotspur.
But it's still a big fixture, right?
Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
Dude, it's the top three club in the league, and then Arsenal. Like, it's not a big...
Where's Arsenal in the table? Like 7th?
No,
Fifth.
All right.
or 6th. There might be 6th.
I mean, it's still Tottenham Arsenal's, and that's the number one.
I know. I'm like so checked out that I'm like anti Arsenal right now. It's not good, but all right. Well, Sam's sister is calling him from England right now.
Yeah, they're on the way over. So, but
quick birthday shout out to our beloved listener Jorge, NYCFC supporter. We missed you last Sunday, buddy, but happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, buddy.
And thanks, Sam, for hosting. I know you're under the weather, so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
It's all right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like halfway through the podcast, I was getting more and more stuffed up and sneezing. But
yeah, I've been playing something too for like.
It's all right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we will hear from you next time.
See you guys.
All right. Later.
The big stuff.